Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Some additional research on the Notre Dame fire of April 15th, 2019, a fateful day in history, date remembered for the assassination of Lincoln, the sinking of the Titanic, the Boston Marathon bombing, which were all planned and foreshadowed events. What we're going to talk about in this video is the relevance of the Bavarian Illuminati, established May 1st, 1776, just before the American Revolution. A group of powerful individuals said to have a hand in the French Revolution, and what that group has to do with the fire that just happened yesterday, April 15th, 2019, at Notre Dame in Paris, France. We're also going to be talking about the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry and the Jesuit order. So notice this headline, "We will rebuild it." A lot of news networks carried this headline with the exact same emphasis on the exact same words. We will rebuild it. And these were the words spoken by the French president, Emmanuel Macron. Anytime the news media emphasizes a word or a set of words, it's because there's a language of numbers behind it, a language that comes from Kabbalah, which is Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. And these numbers are language to the elite. The elite work through numerical ritual. So, "We will rebuild it" has this numerical value of 221 and 95. 95 stands out right away because Notre Dame equals 95. The secret society, the Bavarian Illuminati, also equals 221 and 95. In history, they were established May 1st, 1776, a leap year, which was the 122nd day of the year, the reflection of 221. So no doubt, this is the tribute within the headline. There's been a lot of talk about Victor Hugo's book, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, in light of this fire, and how his words seem to have foreshadowed this event, the destruction of the site. What's so interesting is from the publishing of his book to this year is 188 years and days. So the publishing date anniversary, this past March 16th, 2019, it was the 188-year anniversary. If you leave "the" off the front of the title, Bavarian Illuminati equals 188. And here in the United States of America, our dollar bills, the denominations are the 1, the 2, the 5, the 10, the 20, the 50, the 100. If you add that up, it sums to 188. And of course, Illuminati symbolism is all over the US dollar bills. And of course, the United States of America has a lot of history with Paris, France. Many of the founders studied in France. Freemasonry is related to the Illuminati. The Illuminati was a Masonic organization. A lot of the founders of the United States of America were Masons. Freemasonry has a strong history in Paris, France, a city that's not too far from Bavaria. So here's an article that was written about the Notre Dame fire and Victor Hugo. I want you to see what's so interesting about this. Victor Hugo died May 22nd, 1885. From the date of the fire to the anniversary of his death is 38 days. And again, the fire happened on a date with 38 numerology. The word fire equals 38. If you missed my video yesterday, we talked about how arson equals 22. It was also a date with 22 numerology. It was a date with a life lesson number of 31 as well. Spire equals 31. The fire and the spire on the perfect date for an arson and for a fire. So here it is, a span of 38 days from the anniversary of Victor Hugo's death, but that's not all. Victor Hugo was born February 26th, 1802. Notice that's the 57th day of the year. Hugo equals 57. Victor Hugo equals 57. Scottish Rite equals 57. The Illuminati was made up of Masons who belonged to other secret societies, including Jesuits, including Scottish Rite Freemasons, and more. The people who control this world are affiliated with secret societies that are all Masonic in nature. And all Masonic affiliated societies are based in Kabbalah, which is where this code of letters and numbers comes from. In Kabbalah's Book of Formation, it stated that God created the world by merging the letter with the number with the word. Every single day, these people are manipulating the world, plotting their rituals, some that grab the attentions of the masses a whole lot more than others, such as the burning of Notre Dame. But this is how these people operate every single day. Anyhow, from Victor Hugo's anniversary of his date of birth to the fire is 48 days later. 48 days later. The date numerology of his date of birth was also 48. Paris is on the 48th parallel, and Illuminati equals 48. In Hebrew and in English, Freemason sums to 48. So how perfect. If you count the span of days, it's plus one more day. I should also note the 1 month and 20 days. Illuminati has a gematria of 120 if you just use the alphabetic order. We saw the burning of the museum in Brazil last year on September 2nd, the day leaving 120 days left in the year. So 48 and 120 are both Illuminati numbers. But if you count the full span of days, it becomes 49 days, which is also interesting because Notre Dame is 49, and so is Scottish, as in the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. And notice how the Bavarian Illuminati, also a gematria value of 139 like Freemasonry. Freemasonry also 58. The fire was on a date with 58 numerology, as we covered. Now, with regards to Victor Hugo, his birthday being February 26th, here's a big headline today. French billionaire pledges $226 million to help Notre Dame rebuilding efforts. 226. Very special number that we've talked about many times over the years. And we'll get to that 113 million in the subheadline as well. But the man who pledged this 226 million, what's so interesting is from his birthday, March 5th, to the day of the fire was 41 days later, Notre Dame 41. And I'm just going to pause for a second to make sure you understand this. When we're decoding, we're using what we call the 4-base ciphers. And we're going to talk about how all 4 of these numbers matter. We're going to go over all 4 of these numbers multiple times. But the 4 ciphers, again, you have to know the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z, the 26th letter is 26. The next cipher is the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. So N is the 14th letter, and this cipher N's not worth 14, though. It's the numerology of 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. O, the 15th letter, becomes 1 plus 5 is 6. T, the 20th letter, becomes 2 plus 0 is 2. R, the 18th letter, becomes 1 plus 8 is 9. You just make each letter a single-digit number. Then you add the word. This is the alphabetic order in reverse. Z is 1, back to A is 26. And the last cipher is the reverse alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, just making each letter a single-digit number in reverse. Okay. So with that said, from this man's birthday who made this big pledge, from his 70th birthday, by the way, Paris, France equals 70. From his 70th birthday to the fire, 41 days, Notre Dame. And now he's getting all this recognition for making this big donation. Notice it's also 5 weeks and 6 days. Notice it's also 1 month and 10 days. Look at Paris, France, 56, 110. Notice Paris, France is 187. The official name of Scottish Rite of Freemasonry is Ancient Accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, 187. And the most pure cipher. Also the 227, that's the 49th prime number, as we just covered. Scottish is 49. Notre Dame is 49. Fire on what would have been the 49th day of Victor Hugo's age if he was still alive. Man who wrote about how perhaps one day the cathedral won't even exist. But notice how perfect it all is. So with regards to 226, again, Victor Hugo's birthday is 2/26, like February 26th. From the museum fire, that was an Illuminati ritual in Brazil, which was September 2nd, 2018. Remember what museum equals? 92. 9/2, you get this museum fire on the day leaving 120 days left in the year. Illuminati, 120. Paris on the 48th parallel. Anyhow, those two events, 226 days apart. Also 32 weeks and 2 days, 322. Number that represents the ancient mystery religions. Number that represents the Abrahamic religions. Number that represents skull and bones. This man's name, Bernard Arnault. Check this out. Bernard Arnault. See the 149? Look at skull and bones. 149. Also 41. And again, just so you can follow what I'm saying, ancient mystery religions. That includes Kabbalah, Hermeticism, alchemy, Kundalini, 322. The Abrahamic religions are based in the ancient mystery religions. They're Judaism, Christianity, Islam. And we're talking about spiritual structures being destroyed. Abrahamic religions, 322. So anyhow, this guy, he pledges the 226 million. His birthday perfectly synced up with the fire. His age perfectly synced up. The amount perfectly synced up with the last major, important historical site burning to the ground 226 days earlier. And again, this is a number that we talk about so often. Notice the museum burned on a date with 49 numerology, like Notre Dame's 49, like Scottish is 49. But this is where 226 gets its relevance. Right here, the word planet has gematria of 226 in the Jewish cipher. When you write out 226, it equals 93, like Saturn. Saturn's the keeper of time. Very important to the occult, very important to astrology, very important to this research. And a lot of rituals are performed around where Saturn's position is in the sky. And this is true for other planets as well. But think about here in the United States, we had the 93 World Trade Center bombing on the date 226, February 26th. The building that now stands there is One World Trade Center. One World Trade Center. In our most pure cipher, it equals 93. They blame the 93 World Trade Center bombing on somebody called the Blind Sheik 93. If you look up the day Osama bin Laden's father died, here, I'll just write it out here. Osama bin Laden's father died. It was September 3rd, 1967, 9-3. That's the day leaving 119 days left in the year. Like 11/9, like September 11th. Supposedly he died in a plane crash. Osama was killed supposedly 119 weeks after Obama took office. Just understand, these numbers are used in rituals across the world again and again, very repetitively. These numbers have strong relationships. The other billionaire who's getting recognition for donating is named Pinault, who also has the 93 connection. I noticed Bernard Arnault also carries the value of 94 like planet, could be coincidental. Bernard Arnault also 59 like Freemasonry. Freemasonry sums to 59 in Hebrew and in English. 59 is the 17th prime number. Modern Freemasonry began in the year 1717. So that covers the $226 million donation and how this billionaire synced up with the event. The other man getting a lot of recognition is right here. He gave 113 million, a number I talk about almost every single day. This man was born May 28th, which is the 148th day of the year. Notice he's 56 years old. As we talked about yesterday, fire ritual equals 56. Paris, France equals 56. So this man, 56 years old, born on the 148th day of the year, Notre Dame 148. And how much did he give? 113 million? Well, that's funny because from his birth, from the fire to his upcoming birthday is 1 month and 13 days. And even better than that, his name sums to 113 in gematria. Just like Scottish. Notice Scottish is 113 and 103. His name is 113 and 103. It's not really hard to see, is it? There's so many people who every single day write to me and, try to leave me these messages that none of this is being orchestrated. It's all organic. If you're really out there and you're listening right now and you believe that, again, there's absolutely an organic side. I wrote a book about it. There's absolutely an organic side. But the coding of the same numbers, using the same numbers again and again and again, these are trademarks. It couldn't be any more obvious. These billionaires are billionaires because they are part of the Illuminati network. Most of us are working our asses off for nothing, dying of preventable illness, having no money to take care of our family members dying from preventable illness. These people are living to, God knows what age with all the wealth in the world. They're part of a club. George Carlin talked about it. You're not in it. George Carlin, by the way, died 113 days from his comedy special. Anyhow, his last comedy special. So Michelle Bachmann, she made this comment today about Donald Trump, that he's highly biblical. If you've been following my work, I've been talking about how Donald Trump's a biblical riddle since before he was even president. And, where was he yesterday when he issued his statement about the fire at Notre Dame? He was in the town of Burnsville. That's where he was. He was in Burnsville. Here he is right here. He was in Burnsville, Minnesota. Do you see the mockery? This is the New World Order. Donald Trump went to the Jesuit University. He has the Scottish family background, a lot of connections between the Jesuits and the Scottish Rite, which have much influence over Washington, D.C., a city that was designed by Les Enfants, a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason from France. But notice that emphasis on highly biblical. Again, Holy Bibles 45, forwards and backwards, like how Chump's number 45. Highly biblical has that gematria of 119, like Donald, like all-seeing eye, like Orthodox, like Ashkenazi Jews, like Star of David. Like how yesterday we talked about how fire ritual equals 119, so does Vatican, so does Francis, how it was 119 days after the Pope's birthday. Notice highly biblical is also 74. Like Masonic, like Jewish, like occult, like tarot. A lot of people are pointing out how the tarot card seems to have, synced up with this ritual. Very special numbers. September 11th on the 74th meridian in New York City. These same numbers coming together again and again. All of this stuff is a mockery. We're living out a planned agenda by people who use the Bible as a playbook to fulfill their own contrived prophecy. So we're living out right now. So Trump in Burnsville, and some people still think this guy is the savior. The guy who wants to fuck his own daughter. I can't emphasize it enough. The guy who's the proud pussy grabber. It's amazing, these people who think he's sent here by God. Well, I don't know. I guess you and I have different ideas of what God's about, but understand, if you think this man's anything other than a tool of the Illuminati, you're under complete deception. So, with regards to Donald Trump, who's a shining example of what's going on in the world, again, he went to the Jesuit University Fordham. We just had the strange death of the woman at Fordham the day before the fire at Notre Dame. We also had the news of the Notre Dame basketball coach, or how we say it here in the U.S., Notre Dame, the Notre Dame basketball coach. He was in the headlines for dying the same day the fire happened. But here's Trump, who has Jesuit connections and Scottish Rite connections. And notice the Jesuits. Right now we have the first publicly Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis. The Jesuits were formed and founded in Paris, France, just like where the fire was, and their formation date was September 27th. Now that's the day. Okay, first of all, from the day of the fire to September 27th is 165 days later. Scottish Rite equals 165. Donald Trump's born on the 165th day of the year, June 14th. But September 27th is the day leaving 95 days left in the year. Notre Dame, 95. And there's all of this overlap between the Jesuits and the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. Consider Washington, D.C. once used to be called the Catholic Colony. That's why the Jesuit University Georgetown's there. Now it's the city that's known for the headquarters of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry for North America. And the Jesuits and the Scottish Rite, they share the same motto at the 32nd degree of the Scottish Rite. That motto sums to 115, like Masonic, like France. And we talked about how the burning of Notre Dame was 115 days after Macron's birthday, which we'll revisit. That motto means for the greater glory of God, which equals 351. That's the 26th triangular number, meaning if you had 1 through 26, it equals God. God equals 26. That's why we have a 26-letter English alphabet. The 4-letter name of God also sums to 26 in Hebrew and in English. But notice the overlap with the Masons and the Jesuits. Masonry 84, Jesuit 84. Pope Francis is born on a date with 84 numerology, the first publicly Jesuit pope. Zionism's 84. United States of America is 84. With regards to this overlap at the 32nd degree, America's 32, Scottish is 32. The United States established on a date with 32 numerology. Notice the foundation date for the Jesuits, not to be confused with the formation date, is August 15th, also in Paris, France, a date that can be written 15/8, like 158. This is how it all comes together. Jesuits, Scottish Rites, Bavarian Illuminati, it's all interconnected. And, you know, supposedly the Catholic Church has no affiliation with excuse me, allergy season. Supposedly has no affiliation with Freemasonry, but I think that's just the public perception. I think the truth is it's all linked up through the Jesuits. Find the picture of Pope Francis doing the hidden hand, which is a Masonic pose. It's out there. I've shown it many times before. So again, just for some more review, talking about that 115 thing, the motto of the 32nd degree of the Scottish Rite, which is shared with the Jesuit order, how it has that value of 115. Again, Emmanuel Macron, his name equals 58. The fire was on a date with 58 numerology. Freemasonry, Rosicrucian, Secret Society, they're all 58. It makes sense. This building was built by Freemasons. Rituals were carried out there by Rosicrucians and Freemasons. These people think they're God. You know, what do they say? The Lord giveth and taketh away. That's what's going on here, you know. But for Macron's birthday, and notice he's 41, like Notre Dame's 41. And I think Notre Dame Cathedral's 77, like the year he's born. Let me check that out. It is. It's also 319, like Masonic, and Satanic Gematria 103, like Scottish. We saw how the one guy giving the donation had the 103 name connection. But anyhow, from his birthday, from his 41st birthday to the fire 115 days later. In France, 115, Masonic 115. Notice the 3 months and 25 days. Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, 325, like how the Council of Nicaea was in the year 325 AD. You know, had a lot to do with the Catholic Church, like this structure. Emmanuel Macron, also 148, like Notre Dame. And like I said, the day he was elected, the other person he was running against, their name was 58 too, Marine Le Pen or whatever it was. I said, look, it's just another big 58 Freemasonry ritual, just like we had here in the U.S. with the rigged election of Donald Trump, who announced he was running from the 58-story Trump Tower, who hired the 58-year-old Steve Ray for Inauguration Day. Also, it was pointed out that from the day that he assumed office to the day of the fire was 701 days. Lose the zero in the middle, 71. That's how it is in numerology terms. Catholic 71, this Catholic structure. The date he took office can be written 14/5, like 145, Catholic 145 as well. The day his political party took office, June 18th. From that day to the fire, 666 days. When you write out 666, it equals 95, like Notre Dame. Also like the National Museum, which was the title of the building that burned in Brazil, September 2nd. And, again, museum fire, 2992, perfect day for a museum fire, September 2nd. Museum fire also 49, that was on a date with 49 numerology. It was the National Museum in September, National September 49, just like Notre Dame. The National Museum, 95. This emphasis on incalculable, 95. What do we see? The Bavarian Illuminati, 95. Notre Dame, 95. And this fire was on the day leaving. It was September 2nd, the day leaving 120 days left in the year. Illuminati. Same thing across the world. And think about the Da Vinci Code, which hints at the Illuminati and, you know, the emphasis on museums in Paris. And I forgot to check something. Somebody messaged me this. I got to see if it's true. So Leonardo da Vinci, look at what day his birthday is. It is true. His birthday is April 15th. Again, the Da Vinci Code, cluing you in about the Illuminati, Paris, France, April 15th, this date in history. Don't forget April 15th, the 105th day of the year. Masonry, 105. Zionism, 105. Bible, 105. All of this is biblical. Unreal. So, talk about how the president of Brazil at the time, born on the day, leaving 99 days left in the year. The Bavarian Illuminati established on a date with 99 numerology, with 13 families when you write out 1399. Interesting, he's also born on the 266th day of the year. We're in the time of the 266th Pope. But just these perfect parallels. And also for another kick, the French president, his political party, the Gematria of their party is 105, like how April 15th is the 105th day of the year. Again, leaving 260 days remaining, like how there's 260 chapters in the New Testament. Christian building burns, 260 chapters in the Christian section of the Bible. And don't forget Boston, Massachusetts equals 260, date of the Boston Marathon bombing. Hoax. Whoops. Total hoax, you guys. If you didn't research the Boston Marathon bombing, absolute hoax. Total hoax. Don't be fooled. It's not like this, how they burned down the cathedral. But they've done a good job of cleaning the web of all the evidence of what a hoax it was. But there's a reason they did that ritual on that day. They said the fire at the cathedral started in the attic, gematria of 105. Go figure. And CNN's headline that they kept up almost all day about this: fire rages at Notre Dame, gematria of 96 like Freemason, 120 like Illuminati. Again, Illuminati also 48, Paris on the 48th parallel, where we began with the Victor Hugo part. And right away, the first thing I looked at was the face of the Catholic Church, because every major Catholic news story is perfectly synced up with Pope Francis, as we've shown for, over 5 years now. From his birthday to the date of the fire, 119 days. Vatican 119, Francis 119, fire ritual 119, all-seeing eye 119. Again, he's the first publicly Jesuit pope. The Jesuits established in France. Vatican 47, Francis 47, France 47. 47 degrees on the Masonic compass out of the Scottish Rite of France. Fire ritual, all-seeing eye, Paris, France 56. France 24 News Network said the fire broke out about 5 or 6 minutes after the cathedral closed. See why they do that? It's because they're speaking in code. They know exactly what's going on. Again, 58 date numerology, Freemasonry, 58 Rosicrucian, Secret Society, Rose Cross, Biblical, Pope Francis, Tetragrammaton. Rosicrucians also 167, like Notre Dame Cathedral, like Notre Dame de Paris. 167, the 39th prime, like Masonry, like secrecy. Again, date with 38 numerology, fire 38, span of 38 days from the death of Victor Hugo. Date with a life lesson number of 31, spire 31, the fire in the spire. Date with 22 numerology, arson 22. 22, the master builder number. They're going to rebuild the cathedral again. And we also talked about how, if you haven't been following me since September of 2018, I've said circle the date, August 11th, 2019, the date of Tisha B'Av, to remember the destruction of the two temples. We've been talking about the number 118 in August 11th. Yesterday, there was a fire at Notre Dame and at Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, which is the city I'm saying to look out for. Jerusalem also equals 58. So does Solomon's temple, so does Herod's temple, so does Third Temple. Right now, there's money being raised to build the Third Temple. Donald Trump's head is on a side of a shekel that has the Third Temple on the other. You know, Donald Trump election date, November 8th, 118. But anyhow, yesterday there was a fire in Jerusalem at the site of the Dome of the Rock at Al-Aqsa Mosque, and 118 days to August 11th. Again, Tisha B'Av, August 11th, to remember the destruction of the two temples. Yesterday we had a fire at a major cathedral and a fire at the third holiest mosque in the world. 118 days to August 11th. What are the odds? Seriously, what are the odds? And, you know, this comes on the back of the shooting at the two mosques in Christchurch, New Zealand, which were in the 8011 zip code as covered. I put out a video on this last night. You know, not to mention we said to circle that date months in advance because there'd probably be some New World Order activity. They foreshadowed the Ides of March, March 15th. It ended up being the mosque shootings. And anyway, the two dates I've said to watch for August 11th are, or the two locations I've said to watch are Jerusalem and San Francisco. And San Francisco, again, has a long history with August 11th. What I learned about San Francisco is that it was incorporated April 15th. And again, San Francisco is named after St. Francis of Assisi, Catholic Church, who has a major connection to 118, just like the city of San Francisco. And with regards to the biblical riddles, right now the 45th mayor of San Francisco is in her throne. She's going to turn 45 years old on August 11th. Golden Gate equals 45, like Holy Bible. And the Jewish prophecy is that the Jewish Messiah will arrive through the Golden Gate at the time of the Third Temple. So this is why we're watching Jerusalem and San Francisco on August 11th, 2019. And if you've missed all the work I've put out on August 11th, it's a lot to go through, but it's well worth the time, especially in light of what we've seen ever since I talked about this in September. Just more and more things keep lining up with this date. And these two holy sites burning in perfect sync with August 11th, you know, all the more reason to pay note. Somebody's calling in here. What's going on, caller?
Hey, I'm just watching your live stream, and I think there's a big riddle with Golden Tate, the football player, lined up with this topic we're talking about.
Okay, he went to Michigan.
Yeah, he went to Notre Dame, right?
Oh, that's right. He went to Notre Dame, didn't he? Yeah, you're right. I thought he went to Michigan, but he went to Notre Dame. You're right.
Yeah, his name is Golden Tate, just like Golden Gate or Golden State.
Right, right.
And, you know, and he played for Philadelphia last year, got traded to Philly, which is connected to San Francisco, right?
Right. And this year we have the Philadelphia Phillies playing at San Francisco on August 11th, and they're going to remember the earthquake natural disaster World Series team, where natural disaster equals 223, and August 11th, the 223rd day of the year. Kind of like how Victor Hugo died on the day leaving 223 days left in the year, May 22nd, which is the same day that Donald Trump visited the Western Wall near where they plan to build the Third Temple. The same guy who was in Burnsville yesterday when these fires were going down.
Yeah, and Golden Tate was, after college, he was drafted by the San Francisco Giants. Never played baseball, but drafted by the Giants.
I did not know that.
San Francisco.
I did not know that. Very interesting.
According to his Wikipedia page, that's what it says, June 9th, 2010. So, something like that. I watched your video from yesterday. Oh, go ahead.
Well, that's a date with 45 numerology, June 9th, 2010.
Yeah, isn't the 49 numerology? Aren't we looking at that one as well?
45. Holy Bible, Golden Gate, both 45.
Now he's signed with the New York Giants. Different Giants, but that was the 49 numerology, I believe, yesterday, right?
I'd have to look. I don't know.
I'm sorry, March 14th, 2019. That's 39, 49. Okay, that's a different numerology. All right. Well, I was looking at your video from yesterday as well, relating to the Sonic the Hedgehog movie poster. They also came out with an animated series on TV about Sonic the Hedgehog. It was called Sonic Boom. And Sonic Boom, let me pull up the calculator here. Sorry. Sonic Boom was 105 in ordinal.
Huh. Okay.
And the premiere episode came out on November 8th of 2014. So, and the title of the episode is called The Sidekick. So, if something happens maybe on August 11th, maybe there'll be some kind of side guy, or sidekick that they're gonna blame it on, or whatever. Who knows? But
okay.
And then there's one other thing I wanted to point out. There was the Golden Gate Bridge was shut down temporarily on February 13th of this year, and they blamed it on weather-related potholes. And apparently they fixed the potholes in like 10 minutes, which I doubt, because they do any kind of road construction over here in Western Washington, they got to shut down for all day, so I don't know how they could do it in 10 minutes. But,
all right.
So I wonder if some kind of device has been planted already. That's kind of what I'm thinking,
I would imagine. All right, I appreciate it, caller. All right, take care, man.
Keep going.
Thanks. What's up, caller?
Hey, Zach. Are you still alive?
Yeah, let me say something before you go on. So the caller didn't have the right birthday for Golden Tate, but his birthday is actually more interesting than what he said. His birthday is August 2nd, which is just days before what we're looking at. And notice Tisha B'Av, which is, the event we're looking for, has the gematria of 82 and 28, the way you'd write August 2nd, 8/2 or 2/8. So that is very interesting. All right, what's up?
I thought you weren't going to be live, so that's why I called. I didn't know you were still busy, so.
I'm always busy, man.
Well, I just wanted to point out something that's really got my attention. The destruction of the Jewish temple is supposed to be preceded by World War III.
Sure. Well, that's exactly what I'm on doing a live stream about right now. So you're calling it the perfect time.
Yeah, a lot of the fundamentalist preachers say that constantly, and it just clicked in my head, and I realized that. And when you put in World War III in the Gematria, it actually comes out to 71.
Is that with 3 I's, or when you write out the word 3? How is that?
When you spell it World War III and 3 with T.
I see it. I see, and it'll be Israel's 71st year of existence, and temple equals 71, and Talmud equals 71, and you know what other number stands out to me there is the 181, because the document from the United Nations that first recognized the boundaries of Israel was number 181. And there's something about the death of Theodore Herzl in 181. Maybe he died on the 181st day of the year. Something like that.
Okay. Well, there's another thing I wanted to point out is, have you ever heard of Operation Blackjack?
Operation Blackjack. Tell me about it.
This will blow your mind. Okay, in 2009, the Telegraph, now this is the London Telegraph, they're trying to telegraph their messages to us.
Right.
They posted a slideshow, and the heading said that this was just strictly entertainment, right? This is what the heading said, to try to disarm us. And it shows attacks happening on the 22nd of June with nuclear bombs going off in 6 different cities simultaneously at a certain time. And throughout that process, martial law is declared. People are forced to get microchips. They're forced to get vaccinations. It shows all this in a slideshow. It shows bombs going off in London, New York, Los Angeles, Mexico City, 2 other cities. I can't remember the other 2. And it's still up there. You can still go to the Telegraph, type in Operation Blackjack, and you can see it. It's still there.
Operation Black.
Yeah, and it starts on June 22nd, and the actual attacks occur on the 20. No, it starts on June 21st. Okay, the opening slide shows the date, and on the 21st, it shows how there's panic, that there's like a heightened terror alert, and everybody's in panic mode. And then the next day, the bombs go off.
And when did the Telegraph first put this out?
This was out in 2009, and it's still up there.
I see it. I see it. I just
it's very, very frightening. Now, what's interesting is the date that you're predicting this event, it adds up to the number 22.
What adds up to the number 22?
Well, I'm just saying that blackjack occurs on the 22nd. Now, no, it's June. It's just a 2-month difference, but I thought it was interesting that you mean the date that you're predicting was March? Not March.
I follow you now. I see what you're saying. August 11th, 2019 has 22 to 8 months.
22, yeah.
So what's the date in Operation Blackjack? It's June what?
June 22nd.
June 22nd. So that's another 226 date. And I was talking about the significance of 226 to these people in this presentation. So, yeah.
And yeah, there was another thing when I put in Operation Blackjack, a 223 comes up. Also 1223.
Operation Blackjack. Off to let me see. Let me just see what I see. Blackjack. Never heard of this before, so I'm glad you called in about it.
Yeah, you should check it out. And what's really frightening is there's some secret embedded codes in this, and people decoded it, and there's lots of videos you can see on YouTube about it. And in one of the messages that was decoded, it said this is not entertainment. And it's really frightening when you take into account all the opera predictions you've made in the past, and with what the Zionists, Christian Zionists are saying about how the destruction preceded World War III. I mean, it's something that people should be very much aware of, and I think people need to really be vigilant. You got high alert.
Sure. Yeah, I don't encourage anybody to be afraid, but yeah, just be aware. I mean, recognize what's going on in the world. So
I'm just saying, be very, very, aware, because I think that this is something very, very serious.
Yeah, we are living in serious times, and not enough people are privy to what's going on in this world. So, yeah, great call, man.
When you check out Blackjack, you're probably going to want to make a whole video about that in itself, because I'm sure you might actually discover some stuff that I've overlooked, or maybe other people overlooked.
So they gave the date June 22nd. Did they give a year?
You know what? No, I don't. There was no year. It just had the dates, and it shows. It even shows World War III occurring. It shows the government blaming Russia and blaming China and Iran, and launching missiles at them.
And again, where did all the explosions take place again?
One in London, one in New York, one in Los Angeles, one in Mexico City, and I think there was one more in Canada. One of them was in Canada.
Okay. So major population centers. All right.
Yes, and they declared martial law. I mean, everything just happened really, really fast after those bombs went off. And then what's weird is that it shows that, like, towards the end of it, they reveal that this was all a plot by the secret government, and then we end up having a civil war in it. That's the very end of it suggests that we're going to end up getting into this big civil war. It's really just, I mean, you couldn't put together a better script. And I remember there was actually a gentleman on YouTube who actually called the London police and reported. He recorded. You know how you like to call, senators and stuff and leave messages? Well, he did the exact same thing. He called the London Police Department, and he left the message. And he said he never got a reply.
Of course not.
Yeah, and then I remember another video where someone else actually called and spoke to somebody, and they said, okay, well, we'll check it out. But, you know, it's still, the thing that surprises me is that it's still posted after all this time. It's still there. So, I think people definitely should check that out.
All right, I will. I appreciate the information. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Zach. Thanks for what you do. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right, you have a great day. Take care.
You too. Bye.
That's it. There's always more to look at. So, let's see. Oh, wow, a super chat. Thank you very much, Moni. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Very generous. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I better look and see if anybody else gave a super chat as well. I wasn't keeping my eye on the chat. What's up, Hartford, Connecticut?
Zach, I saw you mentioned natural disaster equals 223.
Right.
If you know this, HARP was established on 8/11,
yes,
the 223rd day of the year.
Yes, it was.
High frequency active auroral research program equals 223.
That's right.
So you're talking about the prophecy, how the Messiah has to come through the Golden Gate Bridge.
Right.
The Golden Gate Bridge will still be standing. It's the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge that equals 118. Oakland, California earthquake equals 118. That's on the Hayward Fault Zone, which equals 74 and is 74 miles long. Now this syncs up with the NBA Finals. Do you know what the Oakland? Okay, so the Oakland was the World Series team, and now they're honoring that, San Fran and Philly. Those are the two teams that were originally before the Oakland Warriors. Do you know what the Oakland Warriors logo is?
The Bay Bridge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge, specifically the east side. And they put these jerseys on 3 years before the east side was complete, and now they're finishing their three-peat on the NBA Finals, which is 73 days or a span of 74 days before 8/11.
Huh. Very interesting. 73 is the more relevant number there because it's the 73rd NBA season. So
absolutely.
Very interesting. Can you give me those phrases one more time that equal 118?
Yes. So the Bay Bridge, its full name is the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge.
The San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge?
That's correct.
And that equals 118, huh?
Correct.
I'm punching it in right here just so people can see it. The San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge. What is that in a certain site? Oh, it's not using it's San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge is 118.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that's actually the bridge where the east side fell after the 1989 earthquake.
Oh wow. Wow.
And of course the Oakland A's won that. I'm wondering why isn't San Fran playing the Oakland A's? They're playing Philly because Oakland Warriors came from Philly to San Fran to Oakland.
And then the other thing
Oakland
is
equals 58. It's date numerology of 58.
The other thing
Look at the date numerology. I think Game 6 of the NBA Finals has a date numerology of 58.
The other thing is Philadelphia equals 223, like the 223rd day of the year. In Philadelphia, the actual biblical city, was known for experiencing a lot of earthquakes.
Yes, it's funny because I called into your sports program earlier, and I was wrong about the Philadelphia 74. And when you corrected me 73, that's when I put this all together.
What was the other? You gave me one more 118 phrase, didn't you?
Oakland, California earthquake.
Oakland, California earthquake. Got it. All right. That's kind of. I mean, it would probably hit more than Oakland, but yeah, that is interesting. Okay.
Well, I'm saying if it was a natural disaster.
And the epicenter could be in Oakland. It's possible.
Yeah.
So.
And again, my thinking is sometime after this event, they're going to have a time on the news where you see a symbolic figure going on the Golden Gate Bridge because they're going to be near the site, only a couple miles away, if that. But the Golden Gate Bridge is still going to be standing.
Right. Right.
And I always thought the gold on the logo of the Warriors was the Golden Gate Bridge. When I found out that that's actually the Oakland Bay Bridge, it all came together.
Very good research. Great work.
Thanks, Zach. Take care.
All right. Yeah, you too, man. So again, I'll just show you some of this stuff about St. Francis of Assisi that San Francisco is named after. I know I got some blog posts on here. His first follower was Clare of Assisi, who died on August 11th. Go figure. The name St. Francis of Assisi is 118. Again, the permit to build the Golden Gate Bridge was granted on August 11th in history. Alcatraz was opened August 11th. Again, the current mayor, their birthday is August 11th. Robin Williams, big San Francisco icon, dead August 11th. Of course, an area right next to that bridge is named after him. So, what's going on, man? Hey, you there?
Yeah. Hey, this is Gematria Database. I'm calling because I saw that movie Hellboy, and I wanted to let you know that they had some demons come out of the ground in that movie, and one of the demons came out of the ocean, and it took out the London Bridge, and it made me think of the London Breed scenario in the 8/11, and I think you should check into that.
For people who don't know, the mayor of San Francisco is London Breed, which reminds of London Bridge. So, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, and then also there was Masonic in the area. There was a cathedral that it occurred that some ritual occurred in, and it was about pulling the sword of the stone of all like Arthurian type of stuff associated with Hellboy, which was weird. And it was and the ground was Masonic, like that chessboard look. And then the ground fell, and then things happened. Those demons came up, and then I don't want to ruin it for people, but things happened, and it came back together. And it was in a cathedral, I think, called St. John's in London. So check that out. They might have some good gematria nuggets.
Okay, Hellboy. That's what I got to check out?
Yeah, the new one, the newest version that just came out.
Okay. I don't go to the movies very much, but I'll see if I can find a way to see it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. And then for the viewers, I've updated the Gematria database. So check it out. There's more to look at than there was before.
For people who don't know, in the description of every video, you got the Gematria database linked. It's right here, the Gematria database. This is what he's talking about. Awesome work. He's put in a lot of time. Check it out. It'll help you get your Gematria knowledge up in your organization. Great work, friend. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you. And thank you for plugging me.
Of course, always.
And keep up the good work. I'll be listening.
You too, thanks. Hey, caller. Caller?
Hey, Zach.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. Notre Dame this past Sunday lost to Cornell in a lacrosse game 9-11.
Huh.
Or 11-9. Cornell beat them 11-9.
There you go.
Yep.
Good observation. And then we had the death of the Notre Dame coach in the news the same day as the fire. And somebody pointed out that the women's basketball team won the championship 380 days before the fire, where fire equals 38. So it's interesting too.
Yeah. My feeling is, and I'll be very short with this, that Notre Dame is being woven into the 8/11 grand ritual.
And give me more specifics. How are you saying that?
I don't know just yet. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I mean, you're doing obviously very excellent research, but it's like a pointer.
Okay, so did you see what I said about how there was also a fire at the Dome of the Rock the same day at Al-Aqsa Mosque?
Yeah, I picked that up last night late. Yeah, and that was good work. I mean, that was a big tell, okay?
So again, Tisha B'Av's to remember the destruction of the two temples, and you have two fires at two religious sites 118 days before 11/8.
Exactly. That was huge, and I'm glad you brought that up last night. I was like, wow. That was like, by the way, that was a good interview on tinfoil hat, man. You rocked it. Good work.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
All right, I'll let you go.
All right, take care.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, check out these tweets from the mayor of San Francisco. As we watch the devastation at Notre Dame Cathedral, San Francisco's thoughts are with the people of Paris, our sister city. And then check this out about the 113th anniversary of the 1906 earthquake. Oh, my goodness. What's going on, Hawaii?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
Thanks for calling in.
No problem. Thanks for having me on. I finally got off work early today, so I'm able to catch you. I just wanted to share, like, so yesterday was the 19th, right? And, like, I already knew, like, the night before on the 13th, yesterday was the 15th, but it had 19th numerology. I swear to God, like, the day before, I was like, watch some shit go down tomorrow. Because thanks to your research, like, I've learned to, be on the lookout on dates with certain numerology, especially 19, since, equals chaos and whatnot.
Right.
And sure enough, like, freaking clockwork, the freaking fire happened. It's just crazy, man, how spot on your work is. And like the last caller was saying, like, it all seems woven together. Like earlier, or I think it was last year, they had that Jewish synagogue shooting, and we had the mosque shooting. Seems like there's all these religious things under attack, and I believe it's all related to the work that you've been exposing. And glad to see you're getting out there. I loved your tinfoil episode. It was so cool to watch the dudes get their mind blown.
Well, Sam, the host, I think his mind was blown. The other guy, I just think he did nothing. He's just like shrugs his shoulders and everything. So
yeah, he seemed like he's still a little bit hesitant, but I'm sure he'll come around.
Well, if you watch more of their episodes, he was more animated in that episode than maybe any other one they've ever done. But he's still, Mr. Shrug the Shoulders, so it's okay.
Yeah, that was cool. But anyway, thanks for what you do, man. And I left a comment the other day. I hope I didn't offend you. I just chose a poor choice of words. But yeah, you've totally been freaking exposing like massive knowledge, and I appreciate your work. And I didn't mean to use the word instead, but it seems like, I guess what I'm saying is, like, all this stuff that's happening seems like it's been going on like internationally. And I don't know if there's like a theme to that, but like, I don't know. So like, because of the time zone difference, we're focusing on 8/11. Maybe like it'll be 8/11 in like another country, but it'll still be 8/10 here.
And those are the 2 days of Tisha B'Av. August 10th is an important date too. So yeah, absolutely. I really am watching both those days, but August 11th is the one with the more curious numbers. So.
Yes, sir. Anyways, I'll let you go, man. Thanks for having me on.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Take care.
See you. All right, you guys. I think it's a good time to wrap it up. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate that. That was very generous. And Chigozie's here. Chigozie, everybody be sure to check out Chigozie Truth. He does his own work. Great work. Do the search for the people putting out Gematria work. A lot of great channels out there. Oh, speaking of which, before I go, I got to read this. Dan Behrendt, who's been he's been producing Gematria research. He was the first person I saw who picked up the torch when I started doing this. Oh, hold on. We got another great caller here, Jeremy White. Let me see what's up with him. What's up, Jeremy?
Hey, Zach. I was going to throw something out there before you go off the air. So I was looking at the Kentucky Derby, which is coming up in a few weeks, May 4th. And the current like projected favorite horse is called Omaha Beach. And that happens to be like Normandy, France.
Right.
And just like Churchill Downs, that racetrack has the twin spires.
Right.
Like the spires of Notre Dame.
Right.
And it's the 145th Kentucky Derby.
Catholic.
And that thing happened on April 15th, 4/15. So it's kind of a shuffling of the numbers.
Right.
And then like Churchill, like a church, like a cathedral, and then Churchill was in World War II, and he was the president of Britain.
Right.
So
great observation.
Maybe a riddle coming up with that horse.
Yeah, great observation.
Haven't looked too much more into it, but I'll see what else I can find. Anything else you can think of connected to those numbers, like 145?
Well, Catholic's 145. We know that's a big Catholic number.
Yeah.
I remember Jake Butt, the college tight end out of Michigan, the day after Jim Harbaugh visited the Pope at the Vatican. Then his college player from Michigan got drafted by the Denver Broncos, and he fell to the 145th pick. And Denver Broncos equals 71 like Catholic. Catholic's also 145. Jake Butt, tight end, Catholic Church, molestation. That you remember that sick joke?
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, and I guess Notre Dame and Michigan are kind of rivals.
Sure, they absolutely are. They absolutely are. Yeah. So
anyway, yep, I'll let you get to your Billy. You were talking about Dan's article.
All right, appreciate it, Jeremy. Great work.
Alrighty, talk to you later.
Okay, so I just want to read this post that Dan Behrendt left, and this man has a YouTube channel. He'll probably make a video on this. But Dan, he's just got this great encyclopedia of a mind. Telling these guys like 1,000 times smarter than me. Sometimes he's hard to follow, but here's what he wrote. He said, remember August 10th, again, that's the first day of Tisha B'Av. When Tisha B'Av begins is also the 227th anniversary of the fall of the French monarchy. French monarchy equals 227. Remember, that's the 49th prime. Ancient accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry, 227. Scottish, 49. French Revolution's also 227. It began because of the Estates General 227. Napoleon born on the 227th day of the year. In 2016, we got the Nice, France attack. That was on Bastille Day, on the 227th anniversary of the storming of Bastille. Hold on, we got another call here. Caller?
Hey, Zach, how are you, buddy?
Doing well, how are you?
Good, it's Peter. I've called a couple times. I'll be quick. I know I sometimes ramble on. I won't. But I don't get a chance to call you because I'm often working when you're doing your live stream. But the coolest thing happened today, and this is because I like to talk to some of the people that are out there, because if they don't listen to you enough, they don't get this. And I love it when you call these people retards. And those of you that don't know this yet, you got to just keep listening to Zach. And when he says again and again and again, and time after time, I've been watching this stuff now for months, and I just laugh when I listen, because this can't be coincidence, you guys that don't believe this. So dig in, get the book. This is it. This is it. Like your tinfoil hat interview, by the way, was awesome. Keep referring people to that. That thing is an awesome, because you start for like a newbie, because those guys doing that show were newbies.
Right.
And you were right on. And you had everything at the tip of your tongue, whether it was Tiger or you were just blowing that guy away. You want me to do the dive? Well, you were going to do something on his tattoo on his hand or something? And he's like, we'll do that later. Later. Anyway, guys, you got to pay attention to this. So what happened today, younger truther, get talking, he's 24 years old. So 9/11 comes up. And you had just refreshed me on the whole 77. And if anyone's going to get hung up on a 77 or 79 feet, the height of the Pentagon, fuck you, right? Who gives a fuck? It's way deeper than that, guys. Way deeper than that. The bigger thing on all these flags, and you know this, Zach, it's not the event. It's what happens the next day. Like, look at New Zealand, man. They're like, put you in jail for watching the video?
Right. Right.
They did the gun laws like overnight. I mean, it was funny. Vegas here, like it took longer here, but they were. What was the biggest thing out of Vegas? Bump stocks. Give me a break.
Right.
Looking at all the stuff, it's like, are you kidding me? But so this guy, he was 24 years old today, so I realized he's only like 4 or 5 years old at 9/11. So he has no clue. So within 10 minutes, he's going, whoa, never thought of that. I've been so frustrated, because once you learn this, Zach, as you know, and you said something so good in the interview, you just chill. If people's minds are closed, there's nothing to do. You just got to wait for your little opening. And so today's opening, the guy was a kind of conspiracy guy. He had filmed a UFO in LA back in 2008, May 8th, 2008. And I said, dude,
I bet you if I got more numbers from you, I know a guy that I could give him the numbers and he'd find something even more on that day.
Well, May 8th, 5/8.
Huh?
5/8. You said May 8th, right? 58. That's their number.
It was May 8th. He'll never forget it. He was leaning back in a poolside deck chair. He looks up and starts freaking out. He sold the clip for a 1-minute clip to KTLA for $300. And he says it's a fucking UFO or, whatever it is. And I said, yeah, but the deeper thing is that doesn't mean it's from another planet. Area 51 has been around for a long time, Anyway, May 8th, whatever it was Los Angeles, May 8th, 2008. I don't know the numbers. So the quick question for you was this. Because this Pope, man, something's up with this Pope, this first Jesuit Pope. But I'm pretty sure that he has somehow cut ties with the Knights of Malta in his little thing here. He's already been 6 years, which the other thing in the whole Pope thing is the Pope before him had to step down because of all of his sex abuse and all that nasty shit. He stepped down. The other Pope couldn't handle all the dirt. So in came Francis because he can handle all the dirt. But he cut ties with the Knights of Malta, and he cut ties with the Black Pope. And I wanted to know if you know more about that, or is he also the Black Pope, this current Jesuit Pope, the first Jesuit Pope?
I don't think so. I think,
From what I gather, the Black Pope has had significance until this Pope cut him off.
Huh. I'd have to look into that. I don't know about that. But just remember, Pope Francis...
That's a little rabbit hole that might be worth some research there. I don't know enough.
Sure, but just remember, Pope Francis became the 266th Pope on March 13th, 3/13/13.
Oh, I know. I've heard all your numbers on it.
Well, just for people who don't know, 13's the 6th prime and 3's the 2nd prime. So 3/13/13 in prime numbers is 266. Like how he's the 266th Pope. So no doubt he was destined for that date.
Well, when you look at the tip of this spear here, whether it's Freemason, the code intertwines on all of this, people that are listening. It's not one thing. It's all intertwined, and Trump is a joke. I watched this, all this crap with Alex Jones. He never talks gematria. If you're a truther and don't talk even basic gematria, you're bullshit. Because this is the only knowledge, Zach, and I don't need to tell you, preaching to the choir, this is the only knowledge that ties it all together. And the sports is just for fun. They do it just to fuck with people.
Right.
Because they've got the mind of the masses. They got everyone so controlled by the rap and the, and the sports. Like the chemtrails, I've almost given up anymore. So they're spraying and we're dying. We don't know. They won't even admit they're doing it. You can sit here in LA and watch them turn a perfectly blue sky in 2 hours into this cloudy soup.
I'm pretty sure you can watch that almost anywhere in the world these days, and somehow the majority of people don't see it. It's insane.
They don't see it. And here's the cool thing. I found a site that does this. He's cool. His name is Morales, and the other guy is called Climate Viewer. He's like geoengineering history and weather modification history. Anyway, he shows you a satellite map, and the majority of all this spray is out over the ocean. What we actually see in LA or Europe North and Northwest, what we actually see is just a tiny bit of it. The major spray operations are way out in the ocean, and I didn't know this. They use ships. A lot of ships have spray equipment on them. It's fucking fascinating. But that program is off the charts. And have you noticed, Zach, how there's so many articles now bursting out? Oh, we're thinking about spraying to block the sun. Yep. They've been spraying for 30 years.
Right, exactly. Yep.
Wake up. And all this space stuff is such a joke. Crashing the lander on Mars. The Jewish billionaire said, oh, we'll try again. Come on. And I don't know, is there any truth to any of this SpaceX crap landing the boosters? It looks so fake.
It does, man. And I don't know definitively if there's any truth to it or not, but we see the rituals behind all of it. And it's just, there's so many things to boggle our mind and question and stuff. But to me, it's like, look, we just have to get down to the basics if we're in the truth community. what is going on right now? We're being lied to every single day. We're seeing a police surveillance state being built, a legal war still going, rights and liberties being taken away, chemicals in the sky, chemicals in the food. You have to get 5,000 vaccines, and if you're against it, you're some whack.
That's the other thing, Zach. Look at how much stuff is being censored. Like anything now, anti-vaccine. You can't even sell it on Amazon. I mean, just look at your book, Letters and Numbers. Getting kicked off of Etsy, that's crazy. Why?
Yeah, for people who don't know, my book was banned on the 74th day of the year, of course. The number they love to...
Oh, and those of you listening, the $5 on that book is the best $5 you'll ever spend in your life, hands down. I don't know what, we all know it's worth 30, 40, 50 bucks, let alone if you want to bet sports on Patreon Sports. But that book for $5, I mean, give me a break.
Well, I priced it so everyone can afford it.
I haven't read it, Zach. I can't read anymore. I read the three most important chapters. I'd rather just listen to you because this happens every day. What's funny now is I'll see news before I'll check in with you, and then sure enough, you'll be posting, right when I go to your channel. I'm like, oh, Zach's already posting. You recently did it. I was like, it was showing the numbers. It was a couple of weeks back, and sure enough, there it was. I don't know if it was one of the championships, NCAA, or Assange getting, if it's sure enough, the numbers were there, that when you watch this enough, like I check in every day now, it just lines up like incredibly, and you just start laughing. You literally chuckle to yourself listening as I listen to you, just how there's no coincidences. You're like watching that show, Tinfoil Hat Guys. But I saw some clip where Alex Jones was on there, and he's over there trying to talk about chemtrails. Like, Alex, why can't you talk about Gematria, you prick? In all the years of that Alex Jones prick, I don't think I've ever heard him talk about Gematria. Not even the most basic.
No, if I could just get on InfoWars or get on Joe Rogan's podcast, then we'd be able to start to build up a critical mass. Those guys can make a huge difference.
Now, I never knew about Zach. Owen Benjamin, I guess he was a well-known comedian.
Well, I don't know about well-known, but yeah, he's had a little Hollywood stint, so.
Well, he had a little Hollywood thing, and he stepped out because of the tranny and the gay agenda. But I think if you could get under his skin, that would be cool, because he's got a hell of a following. I heard him the other day. At first, YouTube stole his money on Super Chat, but then the other night I posted in and he found
I made a video for him why he got taken down on the 74th day of the year. He got taken down on the 74th day of the year, just like my book got banned on the day.
It's all in the numbers, and he's talking a little too loud, so they're on him, and he's doing a lot of Zion and a lot of anti-Jew talk. He loves to, but his comedy act, he claims he was always doing anti-Jew. But his big thing on the Jew, he's like, I'm not slamming the Jews. I'm slamming the Jews that are ripping us off. The agenda Jews, they want to do the third temple.
Right.
And they want to blow up the Temple Mount August 11th. And hey, if the Temple Mount doesn't blow or there's not some 9/11 on 8/11, and those of you listening, you mark your calendar, something's going to go down that 8/11. And I know it from listening to you now, but there's just too much now. It's overwhelming. If those simple numbers put Tiger on the win, the numbers you're getting for this 8/11 are huge.
The only thing I could say is the only thing I wonder, something a lot bigger is coming, but as perfectly as the burning of these two religious structures were synced up with Tisha B'Av, it just makes me wonder if that could actually be the event. But I'm thinking that there's still something bigger to come. So.
Well, yeah, I think there's a lot of prophecy in the fact that they used fire on these, and we'll never know how they started or arson. It's all bullshit. And for those of you that are listening that don't believe how this works, this is simple math. What grade do we learn this math, Zach? 7th grade?
Second. Number 2.
2nd grade math? Guys, if you don't know what the computers are, these D-Wave and artificial intelligence, and forget even that, supercomputers from 20 years ago, we're talking about putting in birthdays, of a very small list of people when you boil it down, maybe 10,000 people, 20,000. If you take athletes, rappers, politicians, whatever, this stuff is all scripted. A supercomputer is literally spitting out a script, and the majority of people don't even know they're participating in a con. They're doing drills. You know, why do we have shooting drills at schools? How ridiculous.
It is.
How stupid.
Well, because they want people to live in fear.
Even Michelle Trump will admit that the shooting drills are stupid. And Trump is a total shit, not just your, what is that, number 9? Good job, number 9.
Right.
Tell the crowd about that one.
Well, I can put it up on the screen. So.
Yeah, go look at the Trump commercial years before he even announced he's running for the second time. The sheep commercial. It's such a mockery, that commercial. Mocking the sheep of 9/11. And Trump is like rubbing elbows with people in 9/11. Giuliani was the mayor, is in his White House every day. Silverman, who conveniently bought the insurance policies a couple of months for terrorism. Trump refers to him as a buddy. He's a former, like, strip club pig. You know, come on, people, wake up. Trump is nothing but a scam.
Yeah.
Wake up. And there's no Q movement. Look at what they did with this Mueller report. 2 years and nothing. And then they spin it around, and now it's going to go down another rabbit hole for 2 more years. I don't know. What the Democrats are going to get his tax returns for what? Who cares?
Right. Yeah, it's a joke, man. Anyway,
buy the book, you guys. Listen to Zach as much as you can, and just wait for the window to talk. Don't even try to talk to people that don't even believe that 9/11 was a hoax or this goddamn moon landings. I mean, I wanted to be an astronaut when I was a kid. What a joke.
Right.
It's so fake when you, and the people that say, oh, I saw it on TV. You know, flat earth, curved earth, none of that shit matters.
Right. It does not.
What is a flat earth and a curved earth debate? Yeah, you can, there's no way to prove either one. They both have good arguments. It's a waste of time, flat earth, curved earth. I mean, it is something that they got a big lie going on the curve. I feel it's right now about 50-50. But I'm not going to get hung up on that. Because, like you say, you don't even like to go into the tranny stuff. Because until you can pull down someone's pants, you don't know.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Right? I mean, they can do so much. They can shave Adam's apples. They can get jaw surgery. You know, they can do all kinds of things. It's like, Obama, Michael Obama.
Yeah.
Michael Obama. One thing, though, that they got, that is very peculiar, and I don't know what you know about this, Zach, but it's very peculiar that Trump led the charge on that birth certificate. Corsi was in that. Corsi got dragged into the Mueller probe, but then stood up, I guess, and didn't get indicted like Roger Stone. But Trump was full on that birth certificate, and then they quietly went away. And in the end, it's still completely fake. There are guys that have studied that final birth certificate, and it's totally fake. So that's another thing that tells you that Trump's a scam.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he might have had good intentions to prove Obama was a fake, but that somebody shut him up, and he never talked about it again. But the bottom line is, Obama's a scam. He's a damn scam. He was not born in this country, I don't think.
The whole thing's a scam.
And that's a big.
We're living out a scam.
That's a scam.
Yeah.
Anyway, I rambled, and I just, more than anything, I wanted to say, Tinfoil Hat was very good. You were like, you killed it, dude. You knocked it out of the park.
Glad you liked it, man. Appreciate it.
Well, turn people on to that, because I sent the Tinfoil Hat to 2 friends that I've been trying to get them to, they just won't listen. So I said to them, I go, take an hour and watch this, and then tell me there's nothing here. Tell me. Come on. Because you covered so much shit in an hour. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I appreciate it, man. Great call.
I don't know about that show, but that show, I like the format of that show, and those guys were kind of cool. They're truthers that are, not knowing that much, but they're willing to listen to anything that's in the truth community.
Right. That's for sure.
And it's just amazing to me that this guy, Alex Jones, with his millions of followers, he's so obnoxious, you can't even fucking listen to the guy, and he never talks about Gematria. Hello, man, wake up, people. That should be a big flag.
It should. In 2019, it sure should, man. I don't know what else is revealing more, but
I mean, who are the top truthers, Zach, that are like killing it money-wise? I totally gave up on that faggot. What is his name? Adam Green. I watched him like once. I said, who the hell would give that guy money? You know, one thing that's cool is you're clean cut, got a good look. What the hell does that guy look like? He looks like a guy from the Geico commercial. Remember those?
Well, look, I can't knock him, man. I can't knock him. I used to have long hair and a beard too, but that guy is such a fraud, man.
But if you're going to be on a channel where you're trying to get credibility and be a truther, why do you got to look like you're from the Geico commercial? Like, so easy a caveman could do it. You know, a clean shave is not that big a deal.
Sure. Well, what bothers me about him is he said that I'm a kook, and he said they could never rig sports by the numbers. And since he said that, I don't know how many. I've lost track of how many championships we've called since then. So
his agenda.
Yeah,
I saw that where you tried to turn him on to the numbers, and he's like, oh, I don't know what he's all talking about.
Yeah, he just.
I don't know what you might notice. I mean, at what point do these guys get like paid to do this info?
Yeah,
you know, they get paid.
Well, what he does is he legitimizes the news, and he supposedly speaks against Zionism while legitimizing all the things they do against the people. He makes the news seem authentic. He treats the mass shootings like they're real. He says there's no way sports could be rigged, which is the biggest Zionist distraction in the world. So, I mean, ultimately, he's just reading headlines, and he's regurgitating what everybody who's awake has known for years. He's talking a lot about InfoWars. So, I mean, and his channel's growing very rapidly. It looks like your call broke up. Hey, caller, I really appreciate it. We've been on for about 20 minutes, so...
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I think your signal's dead.
Yep, I'm out.
All right, take care, man. Yeah, the signal broke up.
Bye.
He brought up this point about the Trump commercial, which I've talked about 1,000 times, but probably not for a few months. Again, if you've never seen Donald Trump's Serta mattress commercial from 2009, this is how it ends. He's in a hallway with sheep, and you can notice 2 sheep are on pillars. And notice the numbers on those sheep, 11 and 9. Donald in Gematria sums to 119. He was announced as the 45th president-elect November 9th. Caller, I'm answering your call 1 second. Donald Trump's wearing the same suit and tie in this commercial, and he's talking about being born for the job. That's the same suit and tie he wore on election night. And again, he was announced as the 45th president-elect on November 9th. He said his last words are looking good, number 9, looking good. If you add 1 through 9 together, it equals 45. So just a little bit of predictive programming for his planned presidency. What's up, caller?
Hey, Zach, it's Rob in Vegas. How you doing, man?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. Hey, did you see the Yankees game?
I didn't.
Yankees 8 runs, 11 hits.
Ha. Ha, ha, ha. Very interesting.
We just saw that. One of the other guys saw that and pointed it out, but he couldn't call in.
All right. I appreciate that. 8-11 again.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yep.
All right. See you. Okay. So if you've never seen this ad, definitely check it out. Again, Donald Trump announces the 45th president-elect on 11/9, the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Berlin Wall equals 45, like number 45, Trump in his wall. And here, I just wanted to read this, finish reading this post, which I'll never get through. What's up, caller?
Hey, Zach, it's Rich.
Hey, man.
Hey, I know you probably want to get off here or something, but I've been wanting to call in and talk about what guerrilla posting is to the people who follow Daily Dose of Gematria, or anyone who may be interested in helping with guerrilla posting.
Please.
All right. There's 1,000 people now following Daily Dose of Gematria, and I'm happy for that, and we keep on growing little by little. The purpose of the page is the cover photo, which is the business card, which directs any new person to this work. It can be copied and saved to anybody's phone out there. And what I do on guerrilla posting, and I'll also explain the results of what happens. Out of Zach's 60,000 subscribers, I'm the only one that guerrilla posts, or I want us to be a team. You know, people advertise, I'm sure, in their own ways, but I have a designed way to do it. And I'd love to, if there was 1,000 of me spamming every single sports post on Facebook, spamming every news post, every Donald Trump post with the business card, and then tell them how it's all rigged and where they can find Zachary K. Hubbard, where they can buy the book, anything you want to say. And what happens, here's the results. We get trolls that laugh or say, oh, it's not scripted, or whatever they do. We invite them. Because what they do is cause more reach because there's more reaction and more comments. And my response to the trolls or other people do ask, and I teach them this stuff by showing them obvious hand-picked videos. And then they watch Zach on their own. What happens is I can reply with any video Zach's put out. I go to Daily Dose of Gematria and I get them the Sandy Hook video. I hit copy link and I comment that on my guerrilla post. What if I had 100 or 1,000 people doing this with me? You know what I mean? They couldn't censor us all.
Of course.
And all you follow me, Zach? Do you have anything to add to that?
Well, you're 100% right. And when I first started this work 5 years ago, I thought it would reach a lot of people really fast because I figured more people would share and help pick up the torch. And I just imagined, well, if one person finds out today and they tell somebody, then their numbers are doubled. And yeah, with 60,000 people subscribed, I mean, hardly anybody are watching the videos, according to the analytics. Like, let me see. Right now it says 500 people are here, which is pretty lousy. It's weird to think that when I first started this channel up, well, it's the 18th iteration of the channel, but when I first did the live stream and I had like 25 people subscribed to this channel this summer,
yeah.
I had more people in the count for the live stream when I was just experimenting. So I don't understand how I can have 30 times as many subscribers right now and have less people watching the live stream. It doesn't make any sense to me. But
yeah. Well, the numbers are just probably messed up, but you know you have numbers. You know, that's one thing. I mean, there's people watching. These are ways to combat what you're talking about. Because I noticed when I tag Daily Dose of Gematria, the @Daily Dose, I get no notifications ever. It's almost like maybe they've spammed that link to Daily Dose. But when I just put a picture on as a comment, the business card, I get reactions. They're seeing that. So, I mean, just imagine, I mean, if people can't purchase the $17 case of business cards, you can copy the business card to your phone. And every time you see how, you know, some scripted sporting thing, you know, on like say baseball or NBA or football, you can just fire back and post that business card and put your own heading on there and let them know how scripted it is. Let them know where to find Zach. Let them know what we're doing. And if I can't be the only one out there doing it, and it's really fun. And I can only imagine if I had dozens of people doing it with me, they couldn't. The trolls, the $10 an hour trolls couldn't keep up, Zach.
Well, the difference between you and most people, Rich, is you're not afraid. I mean, a lot of people are afraid to be ridiculed, so they don't want to go through the headache. So
yes, but they have hit like on Daily Dose. They like the videos. They watch the videos. I feel like they have a certain job, just like all of us do.
Well, we really do. We should all be fighting for the future of the world, which is why I get out here and do it every day. And I mean, I don't know if people understand how hard I work. I don't sleep much, and I pretty much work around the clock, and I don't have a lot of fun. But
absolutely.
So, yeah, and people are always asking me to do more.
I recognize that, and I'm not saying I'm better than anybody or I do more than anybody. Absolutely not. What I'm trying to do is let them know that there are easy ways to contribute and be a stand-up person. You know, since 2014, when I went to search for my son with nothing on foot in a different state, and I made it, I realized I can achieve anything I want to, and I continue rowing the boat every day. I was dragging my bag in Tulsa today, looking for a place to live, and I got it, and now I'm helping contribute on the live stream. So there's no excuses, and that's pretty much all I got, brother. Besides the killer show that you did with those guys, and they're very entertaining, and I hope you can make a video and keep blowing their mind once a week. It's video 344 on Daily Dose of Gematria. If you haven't saw it, that was a killer show. And anyone who sees that video who's new to this stuff, if you can't get it after that, there's absolutely nothing that we can do for you.
Yeah, well said, Rich. I really appreciate it, man. Keep up the awesome work. Everybody check out Daily Dose of Gematria. It's on Facebook. You can always make an anonymous account on Facebook just to support the page and help get the word out.
Absolutely. Guerrilla posting. That's why I called. Who wants to be a guerrilla poster? And if I don't get even one single inbox after this live stream, I'm going to be like just terribly disappointed.
Well, and
they can be on the page. They can be an admin already. Anybody can be a guerrilla poster, and it takes 5 seconds.
All right. And just for the record, Rich, I often will crash. I know she's texting me a lot late at night. A lot of times I'm already passed out, so.
Sometimes it's just random thoughts. I apologize, like stuff I think you need to know, whatever. Yeah, and I know you'll just see it when you see it.
Okay.
So I hope those don't wake you up. You probably got it shut off.
No, they don't wake me up. It's just I wake up and I see you texting me after I was already up. So
exactly, and I know you're 2 hours behind, so sometimes I try to time out my comments. I'm a thinker.
Well, you're a late night owl. I'm not.
Whenever you can't answer, I don't ever be offended by that because I already know. I already know, bro.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Yep. Everybody have a good night.
All right. Take care, Rich.
Yes, sir.
But again, just how important these numbers are, like how we're talking about how the fire ritual is 119 days after Pope Francis's birthday. Always the same redundant numbers. Donald 119. But look here, Dan Behrendt, we were reading his comment. So Dan Behrendt connecting a lot of dots with the ritual. He wrote, then plus they gave us that article about YouTube accidentally linking 9/11 stuff to the videos about the fire, which I didn't know. We got another call here. My phone's about to die. What's up?
What's up, man? I just want to make a quick point. So the thing with Gematria is the reason why they use this code is because numbers are the language for the universe, actually, and the words are just a spell. So numbers are the original language, so that's why they use these coding with numbers. That's how they actually interact with the universe, with the numbers. So I just wanted to make that quick point. That's the reason why the elite are using this code. So if people don't know why, that's the reason.
Yeah,
so,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I just want to make that quick point, just to point that out. Thanks, man.
All right, yeah, welcome. And the other thing, that's, as he makes that point, it just reminds me of how many people leave the criticism, oh, this is demonic, this is witchcraft. It's like, I'm exposing how people are working. I'm not doing witchcraft. I'm exposing how people are working. It always amazes me how many people can't make that distinction. Anyway, so then he writes, French Revolution came to an end on November 9th. That's another 11/9 date. Maurice de Sully, who started the construction of Notre Dame Cathedral, died on 9/11. Now the media telling us the 2 towers of the cathedral are safe. And again, this whole ritual came 119 days after the Pope's birthday. Vatican 119, Francis 119. And then Dan writes that Tisha B'Av equals 9/11 to remember the destruction of the 2 temples, like how the 2 towers came down on 9/11. And on the 9th day and 11th month of the civil calendar, he's talking about the Hebrew calendar. Tisha B'Av on the 9th day and 11th month of the Hebrew civil calendar. The name Napoleon, according to some sources, even means Naples lion, which is perfect as August 10th and World Lion Day and during the time of Leo. Let's see, we got a call from Philadelphia.
Some sources even means. Yo, bro.
Yo, what's up?
What's going on?
Just doing
it. So I'm calling in just real quick, drop a little something that I came across in regards to the Nipsey Hussle situation.
Okay.
I noticed that on the 31st, the same day he passed was the day that Jesse Owens was he passed on March 31st as well. And if most don't know who Jesse Owens was, he was a African American quote unquote track runner. You know, he ran in Berlin, Germany, and he was, you know, pronounced as one of the greater track athletes is running in that those Olympic Games. And you know, it's just interesting to connect that between Nipsey Hussle and the marathon thing.
Sure, you know? That's a great observation.
Yeah, and I didn't see many people talking about the Jesse Owens connection, so I thought I would drop that
And also to piggyback off of what the last guy said, yeah, the numbers are important because we also have to understand that, you know, what we live in is kind of gridded, you know, on the energetic level. And when I say that, you know, that also connects to the numbers and things as well. So when you start thinking about, you know, house addresses as well as the gematria, certain people's names and stuff, it really goes that deep, you know. And you understand why these guys speak, you know, through these codes and these numbers, because we live in a grid, you know, which kind of piggybacks over the last guy said. But yeah, that's all I wanted to add.
Well, great observation. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, bro. Keep pushing through, you know, fighting a good fight.
Will
All
do.
love.
Thanks, man. Take care.
Peace.
See, that's the beauty of just having all these different eyes looking at it. Because, yeah, the whole Nipsey Hussle thing, the marathon, victory lap, same day that Jesse Owens died, I was overlooking that. Okay. So Dan's making all these points here. The name Napoleon, according to some sources, even means Naples lion, which is perfect, as August 10th is World Lion Day and during the time of Leo. Also, why we are getting the new Lion King in July. I didn't know that. I didn't know there was a new Lion King. And I remember there was a riddle with Barack Obama and the Lion King, too. Barack Obama joked that he was Simba from the Lion King. It's why Nipsey Hussle's real name is Ermias, which is an Ethiopian name, and he was born on Napoleon's birthday. The Ethiopian New Year is 9/11, except before a leap year, it's September 12th this year. Haile Selassie, the lion of the tribe of Judah, was overthrown on September 12th. Funny, that's Jesse Owens' birthday, and this caller just called about Jesse Owens. Lion Air crash was 9 months, 12 days before August 10th. Plus Lion Air 610 and Ethiopian 302. If you guys missed my work on the 2 plane crashes, you should check that out. Ethiopian 302, 612 plus 302, 912. Okay, I see where he's going. September 12th, also the day historians recognize the Battle of Marathon, Nipsey, happened. Marathon, 310 Jewish, Selassie, 310 Jewish, the crash on 310 going to Kenya, where the setting for the Lion King is based off of. Osama bin Laden was born on 310. Haile Selassie, 227. So yeah, Dan's just really good at just like picking up the details out there and really connecting dots. Like sometimes it's hard to follow because of how much he connects, but he's definitely got the mind for it. What's up, Winter Haven?
The Lion King. I was just going to call you about the Lion King, and you put it on the screen. That's ridiculous. The 2 people that are playing Simba, there's an adult. It's just like the cartoon. There's an adult and a kid, Simba. There's 2 people playing Simba. One of them is that Donald Glover, Childish Gambino guy. Okay. He's playing adult Simba. And then this kid, J.D. McCrary, is playing kid Simba. The 2 of them performed at the Grammys together on, what's it say here, 1/28/2018. They performed at the Grammys when I guess Donald Glover won something. I don't watch any of that stuff, so I don't know. They performed at Madison Square Garden, which you probably know has like crazy coordinates of like 7'4" by 4'7" or something like that. Right. But so I thought it was interesting that the news is talking about this movie, they keep saying it's live action, and then it's like they're knowingly, erroneously reporting it as live action, and then saying, oh well, it's not. It looks so real, and so it's a CG movie, CG like Childish Gambino. I think there's something going on with that, with this kid and that guy. Like that was some sort of a ritual pairing them together or something like that.
I might be looking at that.
There's Gematria with J.D. McCrary, the kid. He's got 41, and Notre Dame is 41. Don't know if it has anything to do with it. Jay-Z is 14. And then my final point, this is something I was going to tell you about later or whatever. Tiger Woods. I noticed the news was saying that he was 1199th. Is that correct?
He was what?
He was like ranked. He was ranked 1,199th.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I don't know if it's true or not. I saw in some blurb that he crawled back, quote unquote, crawled back from being ranked 1199 and won the Masters. I don't know if that's true or not.
But I looked at 1199 the year. That's the year that Richard the Lionheart died. And he was 41 when he died. So I don't know if there's any connection there at all.
I'll check it out.
Well, go ahead, sorry.
I said I'll look into it. Yeah, it's all new information to me.
Yeah, that's pretty much the Lion King thing blew me away. I was going to call you about that. I'm just unrelated and you put it on. But all right, take it easy, man. All
right, take care, man. The synchronicity. Yeah, synchronicity is an interesting thing. I think we'll wrap it up right there, you guys. Again, if you missed it from the beginning, we went thorough on what's going on with this cathedral ritual. Then we started taking calls and we branched off into some other things. But I'll wrap this up so you can start it from the beginning. People got to wake up to the agenda we're living out. Thank you to the people who gave super chats. Very appreciative for the generosity. And yeah, for people who don't know, if you're trying to get the book, the links to all the stuff that I offer are in the description of every video. The book was banned by the 2 sites it was on the 74th day of the year. The site that it's on now has allowed it to remain up. But, you know, there's a lot of people in the world who don't want this knowledge out there, and that's why I've continued to say. I've only priced the book at $5, despite it taking me 5 years to write, and despite the book being 800 pages long, because I want everyone to be able to afford it. At the same time, I am trying to build up revenue so that we can take this mission to the next level. My whole goal is to hire people, start a real news network, be able to travel. I mean, right now, Gematria Effect News should be on the ground in Paris, France. We should be on the ground doing some real thorough investigation, talking to people, who knows what. Gary in the chat, man, you got to stop with the super chats, dude. Gary's too generous. He does a donation every super chat. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate it. If everybody was like Gary, we'd have 10 news networks. But again, appreciate all of you guys. I'll have to look more into this Donald Glover thing. If you want to donate on PayPal, I do have a donation link. Where does it say? It says make a donation. That's how you can donate through PayPal. That is the better way to donate because YouTube takes big chunks of super chats. But if you're trying to get the book with PayPal, I've learned that Sales doesn't accept PayPal, so I'm going to figure out if there's some way to remedy that. If you want to get the book and the only way to pay is through PayPal, send me an email, Gematria Effect News, just like my channel name, at gmail.com, and I'll help you out. So, but oh my goodness, Gary, you're too much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Gary, and thank you everybody else. So. Yeah, you know, and for the person who just said Gematria hasn't been debunked, it absolutely has not. And I get so sick of the trolls just going everywhere and leaving their comments. You know, so many times I've asked for somebody to call in and debate and put a hole in this work, and nobody does it. Just the trolls, like little cowards, just, you know, they stalk everywhere and leave their negative comments. Thank you, Wisdom's Dare. Hold on, I got to take this call real quick. Let me see. Caller?
Hello?
Yeah, you're wrong.
Is this Zach?
Yeah, it is.
Hello?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, is this Zach?
It is.
Oh, hey, Zach, my name's Tom. Been watching you for a long time, and I've been trying to get a hold of you here. I live in Yakima, and I think you're in the same area. Is that right?
You're right.
We were subscribed to your sports deal, and we were in Mexico, and I had a small stroke, so I had to kind of stop it. But we want to get back on that, and just wondering if there's any way we can get in touch with you and maybe do lunch one of these days or something.
That would be great. Yeah, you got my number.
Since we're so close.
Yeah.
Is this a good number that I can reach you at then?
It is. It is.
Okay, cool. We'll go ahead and get signed back up on the internet. If we have any problems, we'll give you a call. But what's a good time to maybe buy you lunch someday?
Well, just give me a call and we'll figure it out. So I appreciate that. That'd be awesome.
Okay, well, super duper.
Today's Tuesday. If you don't hear from me this week, it'll probably be first of the week then.
Sounds good.
Okay, my name's Tom Morin, M-O-R-I-N. Appreciate all your hard work, and look forward to meeting you.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Zach. Bye-bye.
All right, take care. All right, you guys, I am going to wrap it up. Appreciate everybody. And thanks for the super chats. Thank you, Joseph. I saw there was another one as well. Joseph times 2. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Wisdom's Dare. Thank you, Gary. And thank you, everybody else who gave a super chat. Really appreciate it. And appreciate everyone else, too. So if you can help out Rich at Daily Dose of Gematria, again, he's looking for people to help spread the word. He's passionate about this knowledge. He's trying to find other people who are passionate about spreading it. And be sure to check out all these other Gematria channels. Like I see Simple Truth TV in the channel. He's doing his own independent research. He's doing great work over there, so check him out. You know, Derek, Gematrinator 85, Chigozie Truth, Dan Behrendt, Bow and Arrow. Man, I know I'm forgetting people who do great work. So I got some of them linked here in the bottom. I gotta build up on it. One Infinite Consciousness, Zenith of the Alpha, Jeremy White. I gotta add some more people down there. Thanks, War Mentality. That was very nice of you, man. So thank you again, everybody. Let me wrap this up before anybody else gets too generous. Appreciate all of you guys. Be back tomorrow, or who knows? There might even be something that comes up tonight. I might be back before you know. But we'll leave it there. Until next time.